Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. I hope you're having an amazing day. It is TGIF. Thank goodness it's Friday, May 23rd, 2014. This is Memorial Weekend. Have fun. Have a blast this weekend. Be safe, though. This is the facts of the matter. How are we to understand and respond to suffering? For example, these are just examples, not saying any of this has happened, it's just an example. A friend's little boy dies of cancer. An unforeseen change in tax law suddenly wipes out an established business. Why do people suffer? Is it the result of sin, mistakes, rebellions, circumstances, bad luck, evil forces winning over good? How much suffering is self-inflicted through our sloth, greed, ignorance? Oh, that's a good one. Ignorance. Or just pretty much our own stupidity. It seems that a considerable amount of the pain we suffer happens at random. Well, it may seem like that. There's always a reason for everything. Few would disagree that life, taken at face value, appears to be unfair. Boo-hoo. Ecclesiastes. It's one of those mornings. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 15. All things have I seen in the days of my vanity. There is a just man that perisheth in his righteousness, and there is a wicked man that prolongeth his life in his wickedness. Ecclesiastes chapter 8 verse 14. There is a vanity which is done upon the earth, that there be just men, unto whom it happeneth according to the work of the wicked. Again, there be wicked men, to whom it happeneth according to the work of the righteous. I said that this also is vanity. Vanity is a kick. It will knock you on your ass if you're in vain, if you have vanity over certain things. Yeah, believe me, being vain or being in vanity over certain things tends to get you slapped upside the back of the head. In my recent reflections on suffering from the book of Job, I always think it, but in my recent reflections on suffering from the book of Job, 5 observations emerged. 1. In the struggle between good and evil, God may allow the righteous to suffer without their knowledge of the issue at stake. Job chapter 1 and 2. Feel free to read it. They're good chapters. Number 2, because our lives are expendable for the glory of God. You heard that right. Because our lives are expendable for the glory of God. He is the one who determines their quality and duration. Job chapter 1 verses 9 through 20. I'll read 9 through 12 just to give you, a little bit, but please feel free to read Job chapter 1 verses 9 through 20 on your own. Then Satan answered the Lord and said, Doth Job fear God for naught? Hast not thou made an hedge about him, and about his house, and about all that he hath on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. But put forth thine hand now, and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face. And the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, all that he hath is in thy power. Only upon himself put not forth thine hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord. He will allow bad things to happen to good people. It happens. They're tests. Their testimonies to prove the glory of God. Chapter 2, verses 6 through 10 of Job. And the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, he is in thine hand, but save his life. So went Satan forth from the presence of the Lord, and smote Job with sore boils from the sole of his feet unto his crown. And he took him a potsherd to scrape himself with, and he sat down among the ashes. Then said his wife unto him, Dost thou still remain thy integrity? Curse God and die. But he said unto her, Thou speakest as one of those foolish women speaketh. What? Shall we receive good at the hand of God, and shall we not receive evil? And all this did not Job sin with his lips. Chapter 42, verses 10 through 15. And the Lord turned the captivity of Job, when he prayed for his friends. Also the Lord gave Job twice as much as he had before. Then came there unto him all his brethren, and all his sisters, and all they that had been of his acquaintance before, and did eat bread with him in his house. And they bemoaned him, and comforted him over all the evil that the Lord hath brought upon him. Every man also gave him a piece of money, and every one an earring of gold. So the Lord blessed the latter end of Job more than his beginning. For he had 14,000 sheep, and 6,000 camel, and 1,000 yoke of oxen, and 1,000 she-asses. He had also 7 sons and 3 daughters. And he called the name of the first Jemiah, and the name of the second Kenza, and the name of the third Keren-Happuch. Keren-Happuch. And in all the land were no woman found so fair as the daughters of Job, and their father gave them inheritance among their brethren. Number 3. Our friends may well misjudge the cause of our suffering by failing to comprehend God's inexplicable purpose at work behind the scenes. Job chapter 42, verses 7 and 8. And it was so, that after the Lord had spoken these words unto Job, the Lord said to Eliphaz the Temanite, My wrath is kindled against thee, and against thy 2 friends, for ye have not spoken of me the things that is right, as my servant Job hath. Therefore take unto you now 7 bullock and 7 ram, and go to my servant Job, and offer up for yourself a burnt offering, and my servant Job shall pray for you. For him will I accept, lest I deal with you after your folly, and that ye have not spoken of me the things which is right, like my servant Job. For how we respond to suffering reveals the quality of our faith. Job chapter 1 verse 21 and 22. And said, naked came I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return thither. The Lord gave, and the Lord hath taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. In all this Job sinned not, nor charged God foolishly. Chapter 13 verse 15. Though he slay me, yet will I trust in him, but I will maintain mine own ways before him. Chapter 23 verses 8 through 12. Behold, I go forward, but he is not there, and backward, but I cannot perceive him. On the left hand, where he doth work, but I cannot behold him. He hideth himself on the right hand, that I cannot see. But he knoweth the way that I take. When he hath tried me, I shall come forth as gold. My foot hath held his steps. His way have I kept, and not declined. Neither have I gone back from the commandment of his lip. I have esteemed the words of his mouth more than my necessary food. More than my necessary food. When you're put into trials, when temptation comes across your path, when you know you're being taught a lesson, or don't know you're being taught a lesson, how you respond to the sufferings, to the learnings, to his teachings, shows how strong your faith is, the quality of your faith. If the first thing you do is, I'm not pleasing in the sight of God, something's not right, let me evaluate what I am doing. Or, oh, God hates me, I curseth thee. Which way do you respond to suffering? Do you accept it and hold your head up high while you are being dealt with? Or do you run from him and curse him? Number 5. This side of eternity, God may chose not to explain the reasons for our suffering. He gave none to Job. Deuteronomy chapter 29 verse 29. The secret things belong unto the Lord our God, but those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law. In Ecclesiastes chapter 8 verse 17. Then I beheld all the work of God, that a man cannot find out the work that is done under the sun. Because thou a man labor to seek it out, yet he shall not find it. Yea, further, thou a wise man think to know it, yet shall he not be able to find it. How then are we to understand and respond to suffering? Certainly, Job's response to the destruction of his family, fortune, is worthy of our consideration. Very worthy of our consideration. Upon learning of his losses, Job fell to the ground in worship and said, naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked will I depart. The Lord gave, and the Lord hath taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised. In all this, Job did not sin by charging God with his wrongdoings. And again, those came from Job chapter 1, verses 20 through 22. Then Job arose and rent his mantle, and shaved his head, and fell down upon the ground and worshipped, and said, Naked came I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return thither. The Lord gave, and the Lord hath taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. In all this Job sinned not, nor charged God foolishly. We all bless God for the praises that we feel we receive from him. All the good stuff we have in our life that we feel that he has put there. I bless him every day for my new computer. But do we bless him when the shoe's on the other foot? Do you still bless him for that flat tire? Do you bless him for the vehicle just stopped working? Do you bless him when the TV breaks, your computer crashes, your refrigerator dies, you lose your job, you lose a loved one? Not that we actually lose the loved one, because they're still with us regardless. How do you handle your suffering? With praise, honor, respect? Or do you cry and whine and scream like a little child? Why have you forsaken me, Lord? We all need to take a real long, hard look at Job. And I do suggest, honestly, reading the first 2 chapters of Job. Pause it where I say, part 1. Or, number 1. Pause it. Read chapters 1 and 2. You'll get a better understanding of what Job went through. What Job went through. And, how he still praised God throughout the whole ordeal. He didn't let his friends deter him from what he knew was right. He didn't let his family deter him from what he knew was right. Even when the Lord allowed his family to be taken, his kids to be taken, his servants to be taken. And yes, I said the Lord allowed it, because if you read it, you will understand it. And that is the facts of the matter. Whoa! Almost a 20-minute facts of the matter today. That is the facts of the matter for Friday, May 23rd, 2014. Peace be in you, my brothers and sisters. May the Lord have mercy on us all. Remember, whether it be good times or bad times, praise him. I love you guys so very much. God bless.